In response to the agitations on the spate of accidents on the Ju Bridge along Otaidi-Roko Road, Ogun State government has put in place mechanisms to curtail the root cause of such accidents in the Abeokuta axis of the state. The Deputy Governor, Engineer Noimon Salako Oyedele, who made this known while meeting with stakeholders and relevant agencies, said the incessant crashes in that axis have become a thing of concern to the state government. Hence, the need for urgent steps to be taken to save lives and properties. The Deputy Governor revealed that a team from the State Public Works Agency would be deployed to the site for palliative works on the foot of the bridge, adding that transport unions have been asked to properly sensitize their members on the need to ensure safety while properly screening those who operate on the road.
The Commissioner for Works has also been directed to liaise with the consultants who are working on the design of the Otaidi-Roko Road to take into consideration the observations of this meeting and make sure that these are incorporated into the design for the road before final approval for reconstruction of the road.
She hinted that the bus stop close to the bridge will be relocated and tricycles will be restricted from loading passengers close to the bridge to guard against crashes with overloaded vehicles and trucks. Engineer Salako Oyedele added that the Works Commissioner has been directed to liaise with the consultant working on the redesign of the Otaidi-Roko Road to take into consideration the observations from the meeting to ensure it's incorporated into the design of the road before final approval for the reconstruction of the road. She, however, noted that trace officials will always be on ground to monitor traffic and avoid anything that will cause crashes on the axis. Stakeholders at the meeting include Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Abeokuta, his transport and information counterparts, Engineer Gbenga Dairo and Alhaji Wahid Odushile, respectively, Trace Commander Sheni Ogunyemi, Member Abeokuta State Constituency 1, Honorable Sheriff Yusuf, Chairman Abeokuta Local Government, Honorable Sheriff Adewale Musa, and 3 members of the Tricycle Union leaders in the area. Ogun State government says it will continue to create a favorable environment for investors and businesses to thrive in order to accommodate skillful graduates of various vocational schools in the state. The State Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Kikelo Molunge, dropped this hint in Abeokuta while meeting with stakeholders in technical vocational education training in Abeokuta. Our reporter, Kumisola Shokoya, completes the report.
Committed to be more effective in addressing matters pertaining to industries and to create enabling environments for vocational education and trainings for citizens of the state. The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment held a meeting with the Ogun State Technical and Vocational Education Training, Ogun TVET. This was to synergize on how the ongoing streamlining skills acquisition program and vocational education would contribute significantly to industries and citizens of the state in order to accelerate the pace of economic growth. Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Mrs. Kikelo Molunge, who was excited about the deliberation, said it would improve larger quality of reliable skilled manpower for industries in the state to make them more competitive.
The state is the industrial capital of Nigeria. We have the largest number of industries at the state in the country. Even in terms of educational institutions, we have a leading role there. So definitely there is every reason to ensure that we improve the synergies between the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology and the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment.
Special Advisor to the Governor on Technical and Vocational Education, Professor Joseph Odemuyiwa, emphasized that vocational training is a joint effort targeted to meet the needs of the people as well as bridge the gap between education sector and industries for qualitative delivery.
Technical and vocational education and training has been the focus of this administration to meet the need of the industry in terms of skilled labor.
It was also stated at the meeting that necessary publicity and advocacy should be made available for residents to strengthen the capacity of prospective seeking employment opportunities and qualified interested candidates.
When we say that we are the industrial hub of Nigeria, and that's not flaunting what is incorrect, that is the truth, that is the fact. We have the highest number of industries in Nigeria and still counting. So there is a need for us to work in harmony to be able to achieve good results.
There's also a technical aspect to your training. What do you like? That's how we find out what people like. If it's plumbing, you can take plumbing. If it's electrical work, you can take electrical work. Because the majority of our people look down on technical work, which is wrong.
Once you are training to meet industrial need, and it's from that from the council and all, it's easier. It's easier because then you have the specifics. You need 10 welders, 10 plumbers, 10 electricians, and then you train these people to meet those job requirements.
The further noted that the interface is no doubt a much-needed teamwork that will propel timely solutions for economic development. Kumisola Shokoya, OGTV News.
In commemoration of the year 2022 International World Peace Day with the theme End Racism, Build Peace, the Ogun State government has revealed its readiness to establish peace clubs in schools. Speaking, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abeokuta, during a courtesy call to his office by the Society for Peace, Study and Practice, SPSP, led by the President of the Association, Dr. Olasokanmi Oshundino, said that it is important to instill the attitude of peaceful resolution in the young ones at a very tender age. The Commissioner posited that a peaceful society would pave way for better development and growth. Hence, he advised that individuals must learn to relate and coexist with people with different ideology, cultural backgrounds, and religion.
The way you even act, the way you relate to other people, these young people they are also looking at you, they are seeing you, and for us as people they are looking up to, we need to exhibit peace in all ramifications, in what the type of speeches we make, in the actions we actually exhibit, how we relate with others, and so on.
It is important that we inculcate the habit of peace and resolution early in our young ones. It will make for a better nation for us all. We will continue to encourage and support associations like yours, and he assured them of government's readiness to collaborate with the association to put in place peace clubs in all schools. In his submission, the SPSP President, Dr. Olasokanmi Oshundino, said there was need to end tribalism and inequality among citizens of the country by inculcating the culture of peace building among the young and old Nigerians. Few days to the commencement of campaigns by political parties for the 2023 general elections, the attention of the media is now increasingly being called to their gatekeeping roles. One of such is a sensitization forum on political broadcasting organized by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, held at Victoria Island, Lagos. OGTV News was there. Biodun Alabi reports.
It's one of the engagements with media practitioners by other critical stakeholders ahead of next year's general elections, with the theme towards a fair and responsible broadcast coverage of the 2023 general elections. Practitioners from the southwest part of the country rubbed minds with representatives of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies on matters of high-level significance before and during the elections. There were two papers presentations at the event. One of them bordered on national security.
Do not intentionally, deliberately cast narratives that are full of lies, full of exaggerations, half-truths, or non-existent issues, such just because you want to either aggregate a financial interest to yourself, or you want to promote an external interest, or you want to instigate violence across the nation.
And to some of the practitioners and the organizers, the forum could not have come at a better time.
Another veritable window to be abreast of what covering election in Nigeria really entails. I was listening to one of the presenters. He said when you apply, the common W's and H in journalism, it doesn't end there. You also tell yourself, how will this impact on the peace and unity of the nation?
NBC has codes, so there are penalties in order for us not to run foul of the codes of NBC, because the fines are huge. You pay as much as 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. The minimum is 500,000 as we speak. So that stations will not say, oh, we're not told, we don't know. I think it's the best thing that they could do at this point in time.
They are just sensitizing the world that, look, there are laws, there are guardians. Don't violate. If you violate, we all know what they can do. They will close your station.
Election is a process. It is not a one-day event. Therefore, if it is a process and not a one-day event, it's something that we need to prepare for, right? So I think this is most timely, and the theme is very apt, because we'll be going into the campaigns very shortly.
In a nutshell, what we want the broadcast media to do is to abide by the code of the NBC and the laws of the Federation, to make sure that whatever they said on their platform is not meant to subvert our democracy.
With a platform like this and more of its likes, the possibilities of having professional and responsible reportage in the build-up and to actually the election holding next year are becoming increasingly possible. From Eko Hotels and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos, it's Biodun Alabi, OGTV News.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has stressed the need for politicians to eschew all forms of hate speeches and violence ahead of the 2023 general elections. Mr. Samuel Fadeyi, commandant of the Corps in Cross River State, stated this in Calabar during the commemoration of the 2022 International Day of Peace. Mr. Fadeyi, who led personnel of the command in the state on a peace walk along major routes in Calabar metropolis to create awareness on the benefits of peace building for nation's growth, emphasized that peaceful coexistence is a sine qua non for development. He noted that as the campaign for the 2023 general elections is set to commence on the 28th of September, it is important for politicians to eschew all forms of hate speeches and promote unity. You're watching OGTV News. Still to come, President Buhari lauds UN's efforts. The National Electoral Commission (INEC) releases the list of candidates that will contest for the Presidential, Senate, and House of Representatives CAM 2023 elections. Ogun Central Senatorial District for the senatorial candidate for the All Progressives Congress (APC), Honorable Shuaib Afolabi Salisu, has begun consultations across the 6 local government areas of his district. Bumi Adigun covered the event held at Odeda when he met with the Ogun Central Community Development Council. His report.
As time tickles towards the date of campaign as stipulated by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, politicians have started to dot their I's and cross their T's, ready to hit the ground running, putting together campaign strategies. On Tuesday, September 20th, 2022, INEC released the list of candidates that will fly the kites of various parties, and Shuaib Afolabi Salisu is a senatorial candidate for the All Progressives Congress in Ogun Central. He has begun consultations ahead of the campaign and election, and is here meeting with community development councils in Ogun Central, who are having their statutory meeting in other local governments where he hails from. He has 3 messages for them here, relaying the message from the governor of Ogun State, Prince Dakwa Abeokuta, his own mission to give a meaningful representation as a senator.
We are making consultations, I could say. The formal campaign, according to our INEC timetable, is somewhere down the line on the 28th. We are going to observe that as law-abiding citizens. But when the campaign starts, we're going to unveil our campaign program, obviously to touch all the nooks and crannies of the 6 local governments in Ogun Central Senatorial District, to meet with our stakeholders across the 6 local governments, and then to also sell our programs and to listen to what their requirements are. We're going to be representative of Ogun Central in the Red Chamber. We need to understand what their requirements are, and then we need to give some commitment as to what we think we need to do for them when we get.
The third message was the need for them to join hands with the current administration for them to enjoy more dividends of democracy.
We're excited, obviously, that the name finally is out, and that the campaign is going to start any moment from now by a week's time. And we do hope that we will hit the ground running. And as you can see today, we are meeting, consulting with a number of stakeholders, and that's why we're here today to do in other local government. So, Ogun Central, the game is on.
Honorable Shuaib Afolabi Salisu was joined by the senior special advisor to Ogun State Governor on Political Matters, Tunji Egbetokun, and other members of the party. Campaign proper for presidential, senatorial, and House of Representatives will begin on the 28th of September 2022. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
The June 2022 edition of the Combined Confirmation, Promotion Test and Compulsory Examination for Officers in the Junior and Superior Officers cadres in the Ogun State Public Service has been scheduled to hold between Wednesday 28th and Friday 30th September 2022. According to a statement by the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Establishments and Training, Mrs. Lydia Fajombo, the examination will take place at Babalaki Memorial Hall, Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, Ujere, Abeokuta, starting at 9 in the morning daily. The statement called on all registered candidates to come with copies of their staff identity cards, letters of appointments, or inter-cadre transfer for the collection of their examination identity cards between Monday 26 and Tuesday 27 September 2022 at the Staff Development Center, Okelewu, Abeokuta, from 10 in the morning each day. Mrs. Fajumbo also advised officers in each cadre to check the examination timetable attached with the circular letters sent to their agencies to prepare ahead. As part of government's dedication to reduce poverty, increase food security, and accelerate economic growth, delegations from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and International Fund for Agricultural Development visited Ogun State. The purpose of the Joint Supervision Mission visit is to evaluate reports from the state and also interact with stakeholders. Ayodeji Oluwumi reports.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, in partnership with International Fund for Agricultural Development of the United Nations, is keen on engaging services of individuals for the management and implementation of Value Chain Development Program in 9 states of the Federation, which includes Ogun State. Ogun State Program Coordinator Samuel Adeogun, while presenting the implementation report to the 5th Joint Supervision Mission, stated the achievements recorded by the State Program Management Unit between September 2021 to August 2022.
We also have those who are trained on technologies, and then we have a team of our youth trained on cassava state entrepreneur, and a total of 109 landscapers were supported in the state with provision of agri-food, fertilizer, and fertilizer. The beneficiaries are also doing capacity building on good agronomic practices to adopt.
The 5th Joint Supervision Mission Team Leader, Dr. Sam Eremie, and IFAD Country Representative Dede Ekwe, stated the importance of the visit, which is adequate evaluation of the development program.
Unlike the regular supervision mission where emphasis is on targets and achievements of targets, we've identified a number of issues that we needed to discuss both at the national level and at the state level.
IFAD and the state is really making headway. For example, through the program, we've seen that the productivity of rice has increased by 47%. At the same time, the productivity of cassava has improved by 61%.
Government officials present at the briefing pledged continued support for Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration in investing in agriculture.
The vision of His Excellency is clear, to provide a focus on qualitative leadership by ensuring that an enabling environment is provided.
That is why we have the homegrown World Bank assisted program, Ogun State Economic Transformation. There's a agri component there that is targeting over 40,000 farmers, Ogun State farmers.
There were interactions and dialogues among stakeholders during the briefing for the purpose of achieving the set targets of the program. Ayodeji Olunmi, OGTV News.
In fulfillment of promises made by the present administration, various intervention programs are underway to improve the livelihood of Ogun State residents. This was the submission of the Commissioner for Community Development and Cooperatives, Honorable Abayomi Unye, during the inspection of sites proposed for 5 transformers being donated to communities in the Ikenne local government area of Ogun State. Aderonke Adeyemi reports.
Community development associations are regarded as the 4th tier of the government, and this is because they are the closest to the grassroots. This necessitated the donation of transformers through the Ogun State Ministry of Community Development and Cooperatives to Ikenne local government for an apt intervention in the power supply chain. Commissioner for Community Development and Cooperatives, Ogun State, Honorable Abayomi Unye, emphasized on the need for CDAs to make known their needs so that the government can intervene.
The essential duties of government is to provide the community with amenities. And now we have realized that majority of our communities around this local government are in need of transformer. So all we are just trying to do is to identify those communities that are in need, that we can give it to them and instantly it will be energized.
Stakeholders who describe CDAs as a pillar behind every government urged the association to work hand in hand with the government for their needs to be met.
The government had a meeting with community development association leaders about a few months ago and made some promises. Those promises are being kept now. This is a signal that better days are coming for symbiotic relationship between community associations and government at the state level.
Our administration shall continue to give our amiable governor all the necessary support in his efforts at putting smile on the face of the people of the grassroots level.
Residents expressed gratitude, saying this intervention will boost community development.
On behalf of the entire Ikenne local government, all CDC, we give kudos to our able governor, ditto to our honorable commissioner for the work well done.
With Dr. Abiodun, our governor of the state, we really appreciate that he promised and he fulfilled the promise. So we really appreciate and we thank very much because this is part of development.
The commissioner then visited the Social Development Institute, Shasha, and toured communities who will benefit from the transformers. Earlier, the commissioner inaugurated the Community Development Council Caretaker Committee for the period of 3 months, all in an effort at creating an all-inclusive community for residents in the state. Aderonke Adeyemi, OGTV News.
The federal government has released a lineup of programs to commemorate the country's 62nd independence anniversary. Joe Muta, the Chief Press Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Culture, in a statement in Abuja said the activities would commence with a press conference on Thursday at the National Press Center, Abuja. He said a church service will hold on Sunday at the National Christian Center located in the Central Business District of Abuja. According to Muta, a public lecture would also take place at the State House Conference Hall on September 29, while special Jumat prayers will hold at the National Mosque in Abuja. The commemoration will be rounded off on October 1 with a presidential broadcast, while a military parade will take place at the Eagle Square in Abuja. In a related development, activities marking this year's National Day celebration in Ogun State will commence on Friday, 23rd September 2022 with a special Jumat service at the Central Mosque, Abeokuta, starting at 12 noon. A statement by the Director of Information and Supplies, Bureau of Political Affairs and Administration, Office of the Governor, H.M. Ojo, has it that an interdenominational church service will hold on Sunday, 25th September 2022 at the Cathedral of St. Peter, Ake, Abeokuta, beginning from 10 in the morning. The grand finale of the celebration will come up at the MKO Abiola Stadium, Kuto, Abeokuta, on October 1st, 2022 at 10 in the morning. The statement adds that the ceremony will feature a parade by the armed forces and police, march past by various schools, labor unions, and trade groups. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the United Nations for coming together to tackle challenges the world is currently facing, including insecurity, irregular migration, and the ongoing war in Ukraine. Speaking at the ongoing 77th United Nations General Assembly meeting, the President also called for sustained efforts by the international community to address climate change issues.
Are now more severely tested by these enduring and the new global challenges, paramount among which are conflicts increasingly being driven by non-state actors, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, terrorism, violent extremism, malignant use of technology, climate change, irregular migration, and disparities in opportunities for improved standards of living.
President Muhammadu Buhari there addressing the United Nations General Assembly. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Justice Olukayode Ariwola as the Chief Justice of Nigeria. After the Justice presented his curriculum vitae, senators demanded to know his plans for the Nigerian judiciary and how he intends to address major challenges, improving welfare on judicial workers, delay in justice delivery, improving transparency and compliance to rules in judicial appointments.
If confirmed as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, my Lord, how will you ensure that the judiciary under your leadership is better equipped to perform this role?
My Lord, I'm happy that you have identified as your core vision issues of reform in our administration of justice, particularly the issues of our rules and procedure of practice. There are really growing concerns about appointment of judicial officers in this country.
We've witnessed unnecessary delay in the administration of justice in our country.
Lawyers may soon address the court from the comfort of their chambers once they are properly briefed. What has been our problem is fund. There's need to improve on the way we file processes, the way we still do a lot of writing.
But for the first time, not only were they seen, indeed they were heard by way of a joint correspondence. I hate to use the word petition, but a joint correspondence that was endorsed by pretty much every member of the court.
It was not a petition. The justices were not protesting. No, it was not a protest. We couldn't have carried placards. We just thought to put our complaint on paper for our brother, the Chief Justice. That was all.
Will the Senate confirm the nomination of Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwola for appointment as the Chief Justice of Nigeria? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. The nomination of Honorable Justice Olukayode Ariwola is hereby confirmed as the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
The National Industrial Court has ordered the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to call off the ongoing strike. Delivering a ruling on the interlocutory injunction filed by the federal government, Justice Polycarp Hammond restrained ASU from continuing with the industrial action pending the determination of the suit. The judge further held that industrial action is detrimental to public university students who cannot afford to attend private tertiary institutions. He said the Trade Dispute Act mandates workers not to embark on strike once an issue has been referred to the industrial court. The court therefore restrained ASU, whether by themselves, members, agents, privies, or howsoever called, from taking further steps and doing any act in continuance of the strike action pending the hearing and determination of the suit filed. The judge refused to fine the federal government as demanded by ASU. This order comes a few hours after the National Association of Nigerian Students (NANS) threatened not to allow any political campaign held across the country till the students of public universities return to classrooms. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has said members of Parliament are concerned about the long-term impact of the burden that the endless borrowings by the federal government and growing debt profile will place on Nigeria. Gbajabiamila, who said President Muhammadu Buhari is expected to lay the 2023 appropriation bill before the National Assembly early October, decried the huge deficit in the proposed budget of the federal government. The federal government is proposing a budget with estimates totaling 19.76 trillion naira, while deficit will hover between 11.30 trillion naira and 12.41 trillion naira, depending on the duration that the premium motor spirit subsidy regime will be extended in the 2023 fiscal year. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, on August 29, 2022, in a presentation to the House Committee on Finance at the hearing of the proposed 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, decried that the federal government might be unable to provide for Treasury-funded capital projects next year, especially due to dwindling revenue and petrol subsidy. Winners of 5 million, 1 million naira and other items in Dangote's cement bag of goodies promo in Shagamu have been presented with their prizes. Regional Director of Dangote Cement in Lagos and Ogun State, Mr. Dolapo Ali, who made the presentation, said the company understands the importance of customers and would continue to reward their loyalty. Matthew Showumi completes the report.
The latest millionaire in the Dangote Cement Bag of Goodies promo formally receiving their checks as the lucky winners in Shagamu. Regional Director of Dangote Cement in Lagos and Ogun State, Mr. Dolapo Ali, said the promo has been taken to another level to accommodate more customers to benefit, and added that this is the best way of putting smiles on the faces of the people. Mr. Ali called on the people and users of cement products to patronize Dangote brand to also stand the chance of winning the star prize of 5 million naira.
So there's still plenty of time for us to join the bandwagon and the winning train. Everybody stands a chance to win. Even if you have won once, you can win a second time, you can win a third time. You can always win. And even if for some of us, we have various items that you can't win.
Representative of the regulatory bodies, Mr. Afam Oje, thanked the company for rewarding customer loyalty.
The brand Dangote is not new to us as regulators, because we have been partners in this business for a good number of years now. They are one of the frequent brands that run promo to reward their customers.
2 people went home with a star prize of 5 million naira each, while others won 1 million naira each.
It was simple. If you sell cement or you use cement, either as a worker on site or you have a shop and you sell cement, all you need to do is to open a bag of cement, Dangote cement, and check for a card inside. Then when you got the card, you check whether those cards are part of the alphabet of Dangote as a name.
People also went home with freezers generating sales televisions, and other items. Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
It's now time for the business segment of the news. Do join us.
Many thanks for joining us on the business segment of the news. We'll start with electricity, where rising energy costs are disrupting productive activities in Africa's most populous nation, as factories self-generate more than 14,000 megawatts of electricity due to poor supply from power distribution companies. According to documents, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria members companies spent 639 billion naira in alternative energy sources between 2014 and 2021. Manufacturers spent 25 billion naira in 2014, 59 billion naira in 2015, and 129.95 billion naira in 2016. Similarly, they spent 61.38 billion in 2019, 81.91 billion naira in 2020, and 71.22 billion naira in 2021. The House of Representatives has begun its investigation of the joint ventures and production sharing contracts entered into by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation in the last 32 years. The House had a committee to investigate the structure and accountability of the joint venture businesses and production sharing contracts of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation from 1990 to date, held its inaugural investigative hearing. Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, while declaring the hearing open, said he was delighted to inaugurate the committee at its critical point of nationhood where more resources are needed to diversify the economy. Gbajabiamila stated that the investigation became necessary as there are serious allegations that operations of the joint ventures businesses and production sharing contracts for which NNPC is a party and representing Nigerian interests have over the years been conducted with highest degree to the extent that the Nigerian government and our citizens have been deprived of the value of their investment in the oil and gas sector. The federal government has reiterated its resolve and openness to more private sector collaboration as the only viable means of solving Nigerians' energy need. The Minister for Power, Abubakar Liu, made this known at the 9th edition of the Nigerian Energy Conference held in Lagos. While delivering the opening address at the conference themed Affordable, Reliable and Sustainable Energy through Collaboration, the minister, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Power, harped on the need for the power sector to boost its access to energy through deeper collaborations with the private sector. The minister insisted that the task of leveraging investment opportunities in the power sectors required good policies, investment, and right incentives to investors. The federal government has said it has commenced process for the concessioning of Barrow Port, having fully concessioned Onitsha Port. The Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority, Dr. George Mwagulu, said the Onitsha River Port had been successfully handed over to the concessionaries Universal Consortium. It will be recalled that concessionaire agreement between the federal government was signed in June 2022 with the then Minister of State for Transportation, Gbemisola Saraki, and Managing Director, Niwa George Magolu, in attendance, and the document was handed over in June 2022. Finally, domestic airlines may suffer forced depletion of aircraft following the struggle of local carriers to raise enough foreign exchange to run checks and conduct comprehensive maintenance of their fleets overseas. In light of this latest development, aircraft ferried overseas will be forced to remain in various maintenance facilities until the airlines are able to source funds to pay for their repairs and subsequent return to service in Nigeria. The result of this is that any aircraft that is due for major check, such as the C check, which is only carried out overseas at the moment, would be parked. Also, any aircraft that develops faults beyond A and B checks, which can be done in Nigeria, would also be parked. And that was the business segment of the news. Many thanks for watching. Stay with us as we go back to Adetunji for the rest of the bulletin.